Okay, so today I want to talk about noise in your body. What the heck are you talking about, Anna? Noise in my body. So there's these things that we either put in our body or put on our body or just around that cause noise in our body, and so we cannot listen to our bodies, right? It's because our body is too busy fighting everything else and trying to figure out what is going on that it can not listen to what is actually going on and what your body is trying to tell you. So first thing we're going to talk about that really creates noise in the body is food, because most of the food we are eating is not actually food. I know that sounds weird. I know it says it's like labeled food and you can consume it, right? But when you break down what's in it, it's not food. It's not food at all. And so your body is freaking out because it's like, what are you putting inside me, right? It doesn't know what to do with it. Your body cannot break down stuff that it doesn't know what to do with, right? So then we have this noise in our body. And what does that become? That becomes inflammation. It becomes autoimmune diseases. It becomes all these different things. And then it just gets stored all over the body, right? Because the body doesn't know what to do with it, and you can't just get rid of it, right? It's not like, nope, there's not like this reject, right? That it just, okay, well, I don't know what that is, just let it go. No, it's like, oh, they put this in my body for a reason. I must need it, right? That's what your body's thinking. Your body's thinking you're trying to nourish it the best way you know how. And so it's trying to figure out why you put that in there, right? And so when it doesn't know what to do with it, it just like stores these things all over, right? And what are these things, right? It's like processed food, it's sugar that's not sugar, it's a massive amount of sugar that it doesn't, like, you're like, stop feeding me sugar, I don't know what to do with it. Like, we have this abundance of sugar in your body, and now like everything's fluctuating and things aren't operating right, and then before you know it, you have type 2 diabetes, right? So it's really important to look at your food, to break it down. Look at where you got it from, right? So your produce, if you got it at the grocery store, right? Think of all the things and places that it's been before it got there, okay? So we're just looking at like just fresh vegetables, fruits and vegetables. Like, where did it come from before then? It could have touched 5 other facilities before it got to the grocery store that you now have it at, right? So that's why I always tell people that it's important to go to like farmers markets, right? Because it's like farm here, farm here. And if you can't, if you can't grow stuff, because I mean, like, legit, like, let's be honest, that's like the best way, right? Growing your own fruits and vegetables, you know exactly where they came from. You know how much love you gave them. You talked to your plants, right? You gave them all this love. And you know exactly everything that happened around the environment that they were around, right? If you can't go there, go to a farmer's market, right? If you can't go to a farmer's market, like, find maybe like a swap, right? I go to one, it's called the Farm Connection. It's super great because it's kind of like going to the farmer's market. So it's really not like a 3-person has handled my food before, right? Which is, even if it was 3, it's a whole lot better than the 6. And some places even have 10, right? Before they get to the grocery store that you're going to. But it has all the local farms. They're all organic. They're all non-GMO. And I just go, I order what I want, pick out from what's there, and I go home. It's perfect, right? Very similar to a farmer's market. Just kind of like a one-stop shop. So it's important to know what's on your food, right? Making sure that you are getting products that are not covered in pesticides and herbicides. And if you don't know if they're covered in pesticides or herbicides, washing your produce. Very important, because otherwise you're putting those pesticides and herbicides in your body. What are those? Noisemakers, right? Then you don't know what's going on in your body, because now your body's like, ooh, she gave me food, she gave me nourishment, and I don't know where to put this. What is this? This isn't food. Like, where should we put this? We'll just throw it over here, right? We'll just keep letting it pile until, like, something happens and, you know, maybe, and then you have, like, growths or something. I don't know. But I'm just saying, you know what I mean? It's not food. And so your body doesn't know what to do with it, how to process it. So from there, the other thing is really important is making sure that you're not buying GMOs, genetically modified food, right? Why is this important? Because this food, like, has no flavor anymore. I'm telling you, like, it's made to grow so that you can use tons of herbicides and pesticides, and it will just kill the weeds, right? Like, all the weeds will die when they spray this herbicide and pesticide, but the vegetables will continue to grow regardless. But they have no flavor. They're not, like, they've been modified. So it's not like they're, ooh, we want this, you know, cucumber to have the best taste ever. It's like, no, we just want to make a bunch of it so we can sell it, so we can make some money, right? So, like, it has nothing to do with nourishment or helping you guys have nourishment. It's all about the money, right? And so that's not helping you out, right? Because if you have these noisemakers in your body because your body doesn't know how to process, you know, this product that is, like, genetically modified, which I have to say, like, if I could go into genetically modified for a really long time, and I won't. I will let you educate yourself more on that. But there are studies showing how this food is messing with the reproductive system. People are not being able to have babies because of what this food is now doing to their body and how it's reprogramming their body. Yeah, it's scary, sad stuff, right? Things that, like, we're feeding our children, and so, you know, when they want to have kids, they can't have kids because, unfortunately, like, we fed them this and we thought it was safe, and it's not. So definitely look at it. There are so many documentaries. I cannot think of any off the top of my head. I want to say Food Inc. might be about GMOs. I watched it a long time ago. I know it's very educational. But there's a lot of them out there. Just YouTube it. They'll come up, I'm telling you. But it's scary and it's sad because that could ruin generations, right? From this food that we're consuming that has no flavor, but we think it's, you know, nurturing our bodies, which it's not. So looking at your food. So that's just looking at our fruits and vegetables, right? That's not even looking at processed food. Because let's be honest, processed food is, like, not food. Like, you know, that queso cheese that you think is, you know, no, it's not. Like, lunch meat, like, there's a point where it's not food anymore. Like, it's more water and preservatives and sodium and sugar and colored dye to make you think, hey, you got some lunch meat with that bread? No, it's not. So look at your food, because your food is making noise in your body and you can't hear it. You're so inflamed in so many places that now you're losing your movement. We'll just go with that one. You're not moving the way you want to, right? Like, because you're like, oh, I'm in pain here, and I'm in pain here, and now I have I have inflammation in my knee, and this and that, right? Because this food is, like, just storing itself all over your body, and you're like, I don't know what's going on, right? We're just, like, rolling with it, and I don't know why I have inflammation here. I didn't do anything to my knee. It doesn't matter. That's where your body started storing stuff, because they're like, I don't know, send it over there if they got room, you know. And then the knee's going like, I don't think so, you know. So look at what you're eating. Read the ingredients. If there's more things in there that you cannot pronounce, then you really should not be eating it. Plain and simple, right? Like, if it does not say grass-fed beef and that's all that's in there, if it says, like, nitrates and blah, like, I don't even know, like, some of the words, you're just like, what is this? And then the other thing is sugar. Really watch your sugar. Sugar isn't everything. It's very unfortunate. And sugar is more addicting than cocaine. And it's legal, right? There's so many people that have problems with type 2 diabetes now because of sugar. And once you begin to eliminate these things, you can listen to your body. And let me tell you, it's like, oh my gosh. Like, my body was telling me, yeah, that my stomach was upset after I ate that pretzel and cheese dip, but I didn't listen to it. Like, it was telling me, yeah, you're sick. Like, why are you still eating this? But you couldn't listen because there was so much other noise everywhere else that you couldn't even focus on your stomach, right? You were in pain and your stomach is telling you, no, stop eating this. But you couldn't listen to what it was saying, because it was just overpowering, right? So by making conscious choices like this, it goes so much further. Your quality of life goes up. When you start eating that food that you thought was food before and you start getting sick, it's like, oh, I don't want to eat this anymore. Like, the thought of it, just like your brain becomes reprogrammed, because you're like, oh, that looks good, but I know it is not going to feel good. So is it worth going through the pain of eating it? No. And your body will reprogram itself in going, oh no, that don't look good no more. When you see those commercials of all that food and after you cleanse your system, you're like, oh no, I don't want that in my body anymore. It's like a total transformation, right? So the other thing that is making a lot of noise in your body is toxins, right? And we're around them all the time. My house is as toxin free as I can possibly make it, right? But that's not stopping me from going outside, right? Like, every time I go outside, I'm exposed to all of it. But starting at your house is going to make a huge difference in the noise in your body. Why? Because you are getting rid of 50 to 75% of what you are in contact with. And some people, like, it's 100% because, right, we're all staying home. A lot of us are still at home. Some are able to go out, but a lot of us are still at home. So what you're using at home can be causing noise in your body, right? And so, like, what is that, right? What is that, Anna? So that is your, I'm like, where should we start? Where should we start? Okay, so let's just say the first thing you do in the morning is you take a shower, okay? So it could be your body wash, right? All those parabens and fragrance and all those, like, really crazy words that, like, I always forget how to say because there's just so many of them. Like the dirty dozen. Let's just go with the dirty dozen, right? Bam. Shower, and you're done using your shampoo, conditioner, and your body wash, right? You've just, like, already contaminated your whole body because it only takes 26 seconds for your body to absorb all that, right? Done. Like, you've already intoxicated your body with like 50 chemicals, right? So now you're gonna dry off, and you're gonna put, us ladies, we have that special, lotion that we put on just our face. So we are massaging that in, and that contains even more. So we just added another 12 chemicals on. We put lotion all over our body that was, from bed bath, didn't want to clean it up, or somebody made coffee and didn't, clean up their coffee spill. So now we're cleaning that countertop before we, make our cereal or toast or whatever we're gonna make, and we're spraying, some sort of toxic spray, and now you're like opening the bread on top of it, and so now your bread's contaminated. I mean, like, and you haven't even left the house. Like, before you leave the house, they say you put over 80 chemicals on your body. Well, now that we're all home, we're around this all the time, right? I mean, if you wipe down your counters just 4 times a week, that's equivalent to smoking these things and are contaminating. Lysol, oh my gosh, people, everybody's been Lysoling, to save their lives, and really you're doing the opposite, because Lysol is not only lowering your immune system because it's killing the bad bacteria, but it's also killing the good bacteria that we need, and then it's messing with our respiratory system because we're inhaling that stuff, right? So it's going straight to the lungs. And so now you're going to have respiratory problems, and we have a low immune system, and we're trying not to like catch whatever's out there. And it's like, well, I thought I was doing my family good, but really all I did was make a worse situation for them. So yes, please stay inside, don't go anywhere, because your family doesn't have the immune system or the respiratory system to go fight off whatever's going on outside. Like, yes, stay home, you know, but then you're like, why are we all sick and we're at home? Because you have no immune system and no respiratory system. Even if there's like something in the air, right, with all the dust and everything that comes over from Africa around this time, your body doesn't even have anything to fight that back, and so it just gets worse and worse, right? And so looking at your products is everything, right? When you read those products and it says that it does contain herbicides and pesticides, like, that's exactly what you're trying not to get in your food. Why do you want it in your cleaner, for one? You don't. If you're using a cleaner that you can't pronounce any of the things in there, stop using it. Because all you are doing is causing your body more noise. And then you know, body. That's where you want to look first, right? Look at eating food that is actually nourishing your body. Because if you're just eating just to eat, it's not doing nobody any good, right? And second, start looking at your products all over your house. I'm not saying just throw them all out. I mean, I want you to eventually, because let's be honest. But start somewhere, right? Little places. Start with the household cleaner, right? That's an easy way to start, because that covers a lot of surface in your house, right? Your part, and you have to educate yourself. So, little baby steps. Slowly do what you can. Look at your food and look at your products, because believe me, when you start changing those and you can start feeling in your body and you feel in your body again, it makes a world of a difference. And I tell, when I do consultations, like my patients well, I guess they're not patients, but my customers all the time, they're like so overjoyed because they can